It's crazy. I'm over here looking at my original YouTube channel. I didn't set out to, go viral or anything like that, but it's a very cool way for me to journal and keep up with things. So I'm always, getting new phones, moving places. I've moved twice in like the past few months. So it's definitely cool for me to upload to one location and get everything out of that because I do use Google Drive. I use Google Drive through like I think 3 accounts and then OneDrive through another account, and then occasionally I have Dropbox just for certain clients. So it's very easy for me to, one day get rid of an email and suddenly I've lost so much. So I'm definitely looking back on my journals, and I just want to make this video to give myself an update. And then I do these publicly. I got a few views on videos, and that's really cool because I feel like, that can inspire some other people to really journal. I mean, you ever look back on old childish videos of yourself, and to any normal person they could be totally boring? Somebody just, on a bicycle doing nothing in your backyard, but you could sit there for an hour totally mesmerized and engaged because that's you when you were a child. We don't have enough of that anymore because it's all spread out. Like, you can go and find photos on Facebook or polished photos on Instagram, or memories on Snapchat, all that kind of stuff. But you don't get that same effect as simply just like this, pulling up my phone and shooting a quick video just to give myself an update to go, 5 years from now, I'm going to look back and go, hey, I remember when my hair looked that bad. And I remember when I spoke that way, and I have such a monotone voice that I work on. But it gives me that ability to kind of look back and see who I was, see what was going on through my head. So right now, I'm kind of going through not a full yearly review, but I'm a big believer in not setting New Year's resolutions, because the majority of people, it's 80-something% of people, give up on their resolutions by like February. That's like a month. That's less than 2 months from setting a resolution. So what I would do in that situation is that if I did forget, which I normally don't, I keep up with this stuff daily. Not daily, I keep up with my main net worth tracker about once a week, every Saturday and Sunday, when I go to do some reorganizational structure. But basically what happens is the majority of people will set something like related to health, go to the gym more. It's not specific either way, but they set some kind of New Year's resolution, and 2 months from the beginning of the year, they look back and they realize that they didn't stick to it, and then they give up, and that's kind of over. So what I do in that situation is I consistently review. I'm going to do a yearly review at the end of the year this year, and I hope to make a video of that for myself and for the majority of people. I love to keep up to date with this kind of stuff, but you can really I can track my income. I can see what was really going on my mind at the time, see where I was, because I can look at all the data and really tell. So right now it's October 2019. It's close to the end of the year, but there's still so much that needs to be done. There's a lot of goals that I haven't hit. There's a lot of goals I have hit that I didn't think I would. There's all kinds of things that happened that I would have never expected. So I really look back on my business plan. I look back on what really matters. So a few months ago, I had the opportunity to join and play guitar in a band that I was a big, big fan of. So I felt like that was a great opportunity that I wanted to take in the moment. But what I didn't do at that time was apply it to my yearly business plan. My yearly business plan was mainly focused on passive income, things like real estate, online sales, merchandising, and whatnot, mainly finance driven. But what I didn't realize is that joining this band would be a very big tie on my finances and my time and other dedication to things. So I didn't realize that, and once I negotiated and looked back on my plans, my big goals, my main focus for the year, I realized that might not be the best investment for myself. So that's where I'm mainly focused on my businesses, which is, wireless earbuds. That's the main thing I'm doing right now as far as merchandising is concerned. Amazon FBA, we are on Amazon now, which is phenomenal. But that's my main focus. So when I look back on the year, I can definitely see what was going on through my mind and looking through the data. So I'm not going to show you exactly my net worth tracker right now, but it is great for me to be in the situation I am now, where it's easy to look back on the past year and go, wow, I didn't do anything. nothing changed because I feel exactly the same on the inside. But when I look back, I realize I'm a totally different person, but it's day-to-day progress. So it's very easy to look at myself and go, wow, nothing changed. But looking at the data, I realized I'm such a different person. I've changed entirely. So I've got everything down. I'm very finance driven. So I look at my credit score, active income, passive income, true passive income, my emergency fund, long-term savings, investments, and of course my net worth. And I can see from the numbers and the goals I set what was going on in my mind. If I go back, I can see I had a net worth and I wanted to double it within 30 days. That's great, and it really set me on fire, and I remember that time period. I mean, I spoke to so many people. I chased countless opportunities. I definitely grew as a person extraordinarily quickly, but I didn't hit that goal because that was extraordinarily difficult. I can't imagine what percentage of people would actually be able to hit a similar goal, no matter how crazy and outgoing they are. I literally can't imagine who would be able to do that. So I can imagine what's going on through my head, and then I set very geometric, scalable goals today, things that I can hit continuously month after month to gain momentum. So that is really cool because I look at myself now and I go, wow, I really feel like I'm in a similar position as I was last year. But then I do analyze things like my finances. What am I doing as far as my net worth goes with my influence online? What is concerned as far as my health? There's things that I tracked at the beginning of the year that I no longer track because they don't mean anything to me anymore. They're not as valuable for me to track consistently every month. They're just not variables I need to keep up with. I have different focuses now. I really look at what goals I'm hitting. I calculate so much more. I make calculated risks that are really going to help my net worth. So like the other week, I went out and in about a few hours bought a car that I am going to flip. So doing that was a very calculated risk versus me normally just going and jumping in on something. Like when I started this company selling wireless earbuds, I was buying product after product, week after week, spending thousands of dollars, talking to people all around the world, getting this stuff set up. And what happened is that I burnt out really quickly because I didn't have the calculated risk involved. So the main thing, and of course I'm mainly making this video for myself, but putting this publicly out there so other people can get an idea of how good it is to track things, and what it really means to you and what you can do. Because I'm looking back on myself and what was going on through my mindset, and I realized not everything was calculated. I would set a goal that's so high that the majority of people just can't even hit. And then when I would not hit that goal, I would get extraordinarily upset about it. I'd beat myself up, and of course I would lose momentum. So I go into everything with this big picture approach, understanding that if I have a financial goal to make 240 grand next year, I need to understand that if I don't hit that, it's going to affect momentum. So it's better for me to hit a lower goal like 120 grand a year or 120 grand in 6 months, focus on hitting that goal. Then once I hit that, focus on the 240 in a year so I can build momentum. Because I'm looking at my income and it increased the quickest when I set smaller goals. So I set goals to make, 12 grand a month, and I didn't hit it, and I lost momentum, and my income actually dropped the next month than it did before. But when I set very, very small goals, I'm not talking a few dollars here and there, but I'm talking percentage wise. I was only increasing by about 12 to 15% of my income every month, which isn't a lot for me being a young age, that I can actually go out and experiment a lot more, and I can have bad months and really jump back from them. Very big on flexibility here. But I'd set smaller goals that I knew I could achieve, but I also knew if I didn't put in the effort, I wouldn't achieve that goal. So I set an income goal, and I'm like, you know what? I know if I do these 3 different things, I can achieve this goal. But if I don't do those 3 things, if I slack off, I won't achieve that. So what happens is that I kept achieving the goals without having to try super hard. So next thing you know, I'm traveling the country, taking more vacations while I'm hitting goals and doing better than I was before. I think this is important because so many people I see, and I used to be this way, is we would set goals that were so big and then we wouldn't hit them and then beat ourselves up for them. Now guess what happens? You're not taking a vacation because you don't feel good about it. You're not going to quit working because you feel like you have to work even harder to hit that goal because you missed it. So I focused on momentum. And what occurred is that in the past 2 months, I've made more income than I did in all of 2017 and all of 2018 combined because I set smaller goals. So that's just a huge, huge realization. I mean, I could go off on a tangent like this for ages, but just wanted to make this quick update, at least for myself, that setting those smaller goals and building that momentum was different. So I'm definitely seeing that in my daily routine, starting small, right? I started by simply making my bed every morning and focusing on that small bit of discipline to build all sorts of other habits. It starts with making your bed, and then I would shower every morning, which I already would at night, but I would make continuous habits that were difficult for me to do in the morning, to where now my morning routine sets me up for success and I outwork everyone around me with ease. I can easily outwork everyone when I go to my job and then work on myself very hard when I get home. So I'm building such momentum and I see myself scaling. It's only a matter of time before 5 years from now I'm on, the Forbes 400, because I'll be explaining how momentum works and how it really affects our daily habits and our daily lives. But anyway, that's just a quick update. I'm looking forward to see what happens a year to 5 years from now.